Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind Podcast, a podcast for estate professionals who earn more, work less, and make a huge difference in their communities. If you get value out of this free content, be sure to check out probatemastery.com, where you can get live classes, access to weekly coaching, and valuable courses. To learn more, visit probatemastery.com. Now let's jump into this week's content.
Welcome to Probate Mastery's weekly free coaching call. I'm Bill Gross at Bill Gross Probate. And we do this every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's recorded. And it's designed to be a companion to those of you who've taken the Probate Mastery program or in process of getting it and looking to build your business, not your commissions as an employee, but your business in real estate, specifically sales, representing buyers and sellers. I'm Bill Gross. That's what I do in LA every day. I am the LA probate expert. In particular, I focus on those probates that require court confirmation in LA County. But I also have a team I've built nationally of agents in various states. And what I want to say to you is I built a business 5.5 years ago from scratch, taking this course, implementing it, spending time on it in detail, implementing, going all in, pushing all my chips in on probate. But it was all my business development, all my lead generation, if you will. And 5.5 years later, I have a great business that has equity. I have stock, I have residual income, I have a couple other little affiliate income sources. Just signed a contract last week for 10 properties totaling $10 million, probably about almost $300,000 of commissions over the next 6 months. All by the principles of this program. Now, what I want to say to you, be clear, I don't mislead you. It's not like take the class, here's your magic pixie dust, and you'll build the same business. It's take the class, customize it for your business, learn the principles, work on them every day. When I say every day, I mean 5 days a week. And as a result, you can build a fantastic business. And I'm here to help you. And I hope the rest of you are here as colleagues to help you as well. That's what this call is about. This call is about us getting together, those of us in different foxholes, saying, here's what I'm doing. Here's what you need to do. Hey, can you help me with this? I can help you with that. Now, what I do want to say is the program is on probatemastery.com. So you can see the website. And there's free content at the top page, probate opportunity, marketing, and prospecting. If you're new to this, definitely worth watching. If you're big and haven't seen this content, worth watching. If you want to start your process, not get the magic pixie dust, but start your process, enroll Probate Mastery, click on that, it'll give you the details, one-time payment, multiple payments, different ways to work it, other programs as well. Additionally, this is the free coaching call we're doing now. If you're not subscribed to that, click on it, put your info in. You get invited every week to participate. And then continue the conversation on the Facebook community, where you have to date on the different programs, the calendar, ask questions, look for referrals. Now, separately, I have my own program called Probate Weekly, which is a interview program. I do Thursdays. We're moving it starting this week to 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time. probateweekly.com. You can register at, probateweekly.com. Just put your email address in and click. And you can also sign up to get it in audio formats or past episodes. If you want more information on me, BillGrossProbate.com is my contact info. Now, this is meant to be participative. It's meant to be that you have questions or have victories, or you're working the process and you share your update with us as you go along. Put your question in the chat box, you raise your hand, or if you're brave enough, just unmute yourself and jump in. Looks like Michele has your hand up. Let me get you muted.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. So my name's Michele. I've been in real estate since 2021, but I took a brief break to graduate from college. And now I've just joined Marzuka Real Estate and I'm working on probate. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm in Florida, specifically Lee County and Collier County. And in those counties and in all of Florida, probate records are private. So what I'm finding, what I'm challenged with right now is I have a limited marketing budget because I have some money saved up from my job. And the cost of leads for probate is very expensive. And to do the volume that I'd like to do, I'm not sure if that's going to be able to be in budget. So I was just wondering if there are creative ways to find those leads to do cold outreach other than paying a company, or if there is another way.
Okay, well, first off, Lee County, Florida. So the all the records are private. Even the case records are private. Hearing dates are private. Stop. Stop. Either you know the answer or you don't. If you don't know the answers, I don't know. And I don't mean to call you out. This is all of us. As realtors, we tend to kind of wing it because we kind of do it on our own. And what I'm going to challenge you is to become an expert. If you work in Lee County, Florida, and want to learn probate, to be the expert in Lee County, Florida regarding probate. So, for example, have you been to the website for the county?
Yes, and I've been to the courthouse.
And so on the website, is it available the calendar of the day of the probate cases being heard that day?
I wasn't really checking the dates, but the actual records were blank, and you can't access the records from the courthouse.
Okay, so in many counties, you can't get the full record, the full file, but you can see when cases are being heard, what type of hearings they are, whether it be initial appointment hearings, subsequent hearings, confirming sale, for example. And sometimes there's ways you can, like in LA, the records aren't available, but you can go to the courthouse and there's a computer system, or you can buy the records online for a page. So every county is different. I don't know yours, but I would say the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the opportunity. Because if you get a little information, but you get all that's available, you'll have more than anybody else in Lee County, Florida.
Okay.
So two things. One is I would go online and I just pulled up the county website. And I'm guessing in many counties, they don't give you the details, but they'll show you which department's holding which hearings on what days and what time. And then you can go to court on those days, because sometimes smaller counties, no disrespect, I'm in LA, which is the largest. We have 9 courtrooms for probate that are open 5 days a week. That's because LA is huge and very poor. We have a lot of poverty. I'm not very well known that we have the largest poverty of any county in America. But other counties are smaller and have less poverty, or more functional than LA. May only have probate 1 day a week. Well, which day is it? You want to know that day that they have those hearings and be there that day. And so if they have hearings at 8:30 on Thursdays only, I would say be there at 8 o'clock with a cup of coffee, suit and tie on, and pay attention. Have your mental notepad open and learn what's going on there, and be the expert in your case, Lee County, Florida. And that might mean looking at the bulletin boards, because the bulletin boards might have, free legal help on probate, free legal help on conservatorships or guardianships, free classes, meet with an attorney for free. I found when I went to the court, a lot of information just being there. Other vendors, I found that there would be probate bond companies who go to court. I'd ask them questions. I'd meet the hallway attorneys and ask them questions. So I would say, if you're really serious about this, before I spend money, and you're a young guy, energetic, handsome guy, if you're friendly, people talk to you. I put the time in to really learn 2 things. One, what's online, what is and what's not available online. And second, what is available in person and when, and master that information. Now, once you identify all that, come back and we can maybe craft a strategy based on what's available in your county, in this case, Lee County. It varies by county, what's available. But again, I'm not selling you a system. You're either you buy or you don't buy mastery. I'm here to sell you on the dream that if you master your county and you work hard every day, you'll build a great business. That's what I'm here to sell you on.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. And I'm sorry, how you pronounce your name again?
Michele rhymes with doing well.
Michele, I like that. And what nationality is that?
The name is Italian.
Michele, very good. Thank you, Michele. Thank you so much. Sorry about bitching it the first time. Okay, Emily, try to see if there's a state website. That's also a case. Access Wisconsin CAP, do advanced search, find PR for probate. Yeah, so every state's a little different. Every county's different. State laws vary, and then county. That's another good answer, Michele, for you too. Is look on the Florida state website on probate, because you have state laws and then you have local procedures and cases. And so typically states will also have good resources to learn. And again, if you know everything there is about your county, if there's a limited amount and you know it all, you're the expert. And I can assure you, most other real estate agents don't even know what's available. If you go to court, if Lee County only has court on Thursdays at 8:30, and you go there, you'll be the only realtor in Lee County, or maybe one or two, that knows that's the case. I assure you. Okay. Other questions, comments, victories? Again, this is meant to be participative. On Thursday, do an interview program, and I'm going to be interviewing on Thursday. Interesting, a guy who worked in the court in Philadelphia. So he was what we call in LA the probate attorney. In Philadelphia, they call them something else, like an intern to the judge. And then now he left and opened private practice and does probate law as an attorney. And so he's in Philadelphia. I'm interviewing him on Thursday. Any other questions, comments, victories, defeats? You want to cry on my shoulder? I'm not very sympathetic. I'll do my best. I don't really care. I want you to be successful. Everybody else is going to pat you on the back and say, it's okay. I'm going to tell you, no, get up and get to work. I was at my desk here at 8 o'clock this morning working. You know, I see so many people frustrated. True story. I'm going to riff a little bit here until somebody jumps in. I get asked every day, at least once or twice online, hey, I have a question. Can you help me? And I do make it available. If you go to billgrossprobate.com, you can set an appointment with me for free. And I'll spend time with really anybody for free. Could I charge for coaching? I guess I could. I don't really want to. I don't feel good about that. So pretty much anybody who calls me, I'll try to direct them to a time slot. People often ask me questions in the text box, and it gets hard to answer a long question texting. I get a little bored writing the answer out. But what I will do is ask people to follow up and come to this meeting to learn, and they don't. We all want the answer. We don't want the process. The answer is the process. The reason why we have this call this is funny, I think you guys will laugh, I tell you. The reason why we have this call every Tuesday is because I need it. When the prior owner of Probate Mastery couldn't do it for personal reasons, I offered to be the substitute. Because I need to meet every week. I need to be held accountable. I need you guys to ask me questions. Now, I do get referrals. It's good for my business, don't get me wrong. But I need that. I need accountability, being here on time, ready to go every week. So do you, by the way. Unless you do more business than me, I'm guessing most of you don't. I'm guessing I make more than anybody else on this call. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to demand your respect for your own self. Don't respect me because I need your respect. Respect me because I've earned it, and I want you to earn that same respect. And how you do that? Put the work in, get the results. That's what I want for you. Okay. Keegan asked a question. Keegan Sin, I'm going to guess. If you want to unmute, I'll bring you in and we can have a little chat. Ask the next question. Unmute yourself and or put your video on. Love to. The purpose of this call is coaching. It's free. You know, there are many companies that charge $1,000 a month for one-on-one coaching, $800 a month for one-on-one. This is free. And I'm not some has-been washed-up realtor who can't hack it today, who's coaching you because you're paying me. I'm listing property every day. I'm putting stuff in escrow every day. I'm talking to attorneys every day. So glad to share with you. Keegan, you would come in? She asked the question, is there a multi-step process most people follow? No, most people don't do anything. Problem with business is, here you are, Sin. Let's get you in here. Is it Keegan?
Yes, sir.
And Keegan, where do you sell real estate?
My office is in Orange County, and then
Oh, wow. What part? What city?
my office is in Newport, and then I serve everywhere from Malibu down to Laguna, the coastline predominantly.
How nice. I grew up in North OC. I grew up in La Habra Heights
Okay.
and used to go to Newport Beach to go to surf and hang out as a kid. So nice to catch me in the OC. So your question, I think, is both good and bad.
Okay.
And what I mean is, I think you're asking a question on the right track. But as agents, we're trained this way. You're kind of asking the question, is there a company that sells hammers and tells you the whole world is a bunch of nails? And the answer is in real estate, yeah, there's a million companies that'll do that. There are companies in probate real estate and every other type that will sell you a one-size-fits-all solution. And what I'll tell you is that that's the wrong approach. The principles of this program are the content and the come from and the emotion and the breadth of the opportunity. And then I would challenge you, especially you from Orange County, and you tell me you work in the higher end market, Malibu to Newport, that you're doing with some more sophisticated customers, more sophisticated attorneys. That doesn't mean they know anything about probate.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I find the more the attorney earns and the more education they have, the more they'll tell you what they know and they know nothing. They're good at telling you they know everything when they know nothing. That's really what most attorneys are best at. Most, not all, not the top 10%, but the bottom 90%. And so the challenge for you and all of us is to do a survey of the piece of the market that you want to service, take the principles of the program, apply them to your business, so you put into place the right calls, emails, mail procedures for your business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll share with you, I don't buy the data and cold call. I have in my career. I was a Mike Ferry agent. I did expired listings for years. I was really good at it. But I believe if you're an established agent, I'm looking behind you, you have a banner with your company name on it. So I'm assuming you're an established agent. How long have you been in business?
10 years. I have a team. So
okay. Yeah, that was a good guess on my part. You're wearing a coat. I mean, you look like you're legit. So what I would say is for you, the wrong answer is buy the data and cold call. You have a team, you're established 10 years. The right answer is learn these principles and devise the right combination of marketing, I think, first to your database and your team's database.
Okay.
Because you have more probate business sliding through your fingers right now than you're ever going to get from cold calling.
Okay.
You've been in business 10 years. I imagine your database is at least 700 people or more of your own personal people. And if you have a team, they have or should have a database. And in there, they all know somebody who died. Their aunt died. Their cousin's mother, their aunt died.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what to do. They don't know that's a probate. They don't know that really is a real estate component yet.
Okay.
The problem is they end up with the wrong attorney and you've lost an opportunity versus if you can get out in front of that a bit, they're going to call you and say, hey, my aunt died. Do you know a good attorney? Well, yeah, let's talk more and find out what you really need and get you to the right attorney.
Okay.
So I would say for you, rather than what's the multi-step process that most people follow on this call, most people aren't as developed in their business as you are. We would find the right solution for your business. And that's not an answer to a question on a phone call like this. That's a process, I think, of you evaluating your business, looking at it in detail, and then applying the right tools and testing them, and then the next one and testing it and so on. So I'll give you a couple examples. One is I would start adding in some probate-related content to my current past client database marketing effort.
Okay.
I think everybody has to have a database. They should be emailing at least weekly to your entire database about real estate.
Okay.
Something I do. I've done for a long time. So I just added in how to avoid probate one time. I 1 week made that the topic. I also that week recorded video, my social media on that topic. Then, because I called my past client database, I started the A's and said, included in my normal past client phone call, hey, Keegan, by the way, so you know, I've done a lot of work in the probate space. I see a lot of customers need help with that. If you know anybody who needs some help on property they're inheriting or family members, give me a call. And I'm talking to a guy in the D's. I remember who it was. So A, B, C, D, and barely into the process. He said, well, it's not a probate, but her husband died. It was her property because they were spouses. So it wasn't a probate issue. But she had a problem with the property. Would I help her? Well, of course, my job is helping people who have problems with real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up meeting with her and list the property and sell a 6-unit apartment building. And I deliver the proceeds check and she starts crying. She says to me, you know, I've always wanted to move to Arizona to be with my sister. Can you sell my house? I said, what? What was the answer?
Yes.
That was my listing presentation. Yes. And we sold that. My point of all this is it wasn't even a probate, but by marketing probate to my past client database, email, video, I don't know if you saw either one. I called him. He said it's not a probate, but it had to do with somebody dying. See,
Okay.
I got that lead because I was in his head about somebody dying. It had nothing to do with probate, as it turns out. So for you, the right answer would be either if your current marketing is tight, great. If it's not, tighten it up. And then cycle in probate as a regular topic that will expand the value that you create for your customers, either how to handle probate or estate planning, AKA how to avoid probate.
Okay. And then what I've been doing is, because I'm just getting into the probate space, I'm trying to go hard into it. One thing I've been doing lately, and you tell me if I'm wasting my time, is I've been having lunches with different probate attorneys, at least one attorney a week.
That's great. That is
So
great. I mean, that's
build
relationship
those
building.
relationships.
So I think that's great. I think relationships are great. Just remember, relationships are marathons, not sprints.
Mm-hmm.
Takes time to develop. Also, use the relationship to get information. Don't just make the value about whether you get a referral or not.
Mm-hmm.
The other values of that relationship are their information. Like, hey, you know, I have a question. I have this probate case, and the truth is saying this doesn't sound right. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Or who do you use for your probate bonds? Or who do you use for your e-filing of your documents? So you can use the attorney as a resource as well. Because I think we as realtors are most often frustrated that the efforts we put in relationship building don't yield us as much listings per hour as we would expect.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's about 10 times harder than you would imagine to get an attorney to start a relationship, go to lunch with them, and turn that into referrals. Now, maybe you're better at than I am. That was my experience. That's generally experience I get from other people. But it's just harder. They don't have as much business as you would think.
Yeah.
Business comes to them tied into other realtors sometimes. And the customers sometimes have realtors they want to work with. So it's not as simple as that, but it's something worth doing.
Okay.
Okay. Does that help a little bit?
That sounds good.
Fantastic. Keegan, thanks so much for joining in today.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. So there you go. And again, for all of you, I think there's a right answer to Keegan's question, which is, what's the right process? But I think that answer varies on each of you. And then once you identify the activities you want to bring in, you know, Bruce is going to do training on phone calling. He's a master at it. But I would want to make sure I had the right strategy in place for those phone calls before I started. Okay. Other questions, comments?
Hello, Bill. This is Ann.
Hey, Ann, how you doing?
Good. I kind of have a question for the last gentleman who spoke, and he mentioned his weekly lunches with the probate attorneys, and I'd like to hear how he approached those phone calls.
Sure. Keegan, if you still, I know he muted and he turned his video off. If you want to jump in, how did you approach the attorneys you went to lunch with?
Yeah, so one, I'm lucky because before I got in probate, since I've been in this long enough, I'm already part of multiple attorney networking groups. So I've already established some credibility there. And what my whole pitch and my approach with these attorneys is obviously I want to get referrals from them, but I've always believed that you have to have a handout to give before you can receive. So our whole stance has been, look, we've gone through our database, we've had a couple hundred sales, and of that, we have a large number of past clients who don't have trust. We want to get more in front of them, that the importance of a trust. Is this something that you would be comfortable creating a collaborative video together so we can get it in front of it? And then we're going to set up everyone in our database. We're going to label them differently. And then we're going to do the importance of probate, the importance of trust in a series of videos. And then everyone in our database will get a different attorney that is being, the videos are being sent to. So we're approaching it with the attorneys of, hey, we want to bring you business. And in turn, we want to be seen as one of your referral partners.
That's great. I've done some similar activity. I've interviewed a lot of estate planning attorneys, and promote them on my website, and via email, social media. So I think that's the right approach, is create value for them so they want to work with you. And does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you for sharing.
Fantastic. Thanks, Keegan. Thanks for coming back and sharing as well.
Of course.
Okay, Ron Smith, I see your hand up to get you unmuted.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, going based upon what the conversation is, that if you go back to your past clients, go through the list there, would you recommend either to send out a letter or to go through and just look them up on title to find out how many of them actually have a trust or have their home in a trust, and then reach out to them?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd also do it. I would reach out to them via email, mail, phone call. Again, I should integrate into part of your past client marketing. It should be, hey, Ron, Bill Gross. I noticed when I looked at my records, when we sold you the property, you buy it as Ron and Mary Smith. And I just want to double check. Are you aware of the importance of having estate planning and oftentimes a trust to protect your interest in the property? This is something you guys have evaluated. And I just think by asking that question, opening the conversation. And then those that have one, I would ask them the question, hey, notice when we sold your house, you had a trust. You took title as the Ron and Mary Smith Trust or Family Trust. I'm curious, I have other clients like you who need trusts. Can I ask who did yours, and are you happy with them? Would you, refer them business and maybe make an introduction for me to send them other customers? And what's funny is some will say, we hate them, we want a new one. Great opportunity for referrals. Some will say, it was years ago, we need to update it, and he's no longer in the business, or she. And some will say, oh, we love our attorney. We'd love to make the introduction for you. And that's a pretty easy introduction. So again, I think for those agents like Keegan, like you, Ron, who are in the business, have been for a while, there's more opportunity already in your database than you'll ever get cold calling. But that said, you still need to learn the fundamentals. You'll still need to learn the procedures and the phone scripts and such. But it's just a different approach.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So calling attorneys, calling our customers to get referrals, great opportunities, I think, for us to build our business. Who else has a question, comment? Who's worked on something you're struggling with? Who's had a victory you want to share?
Hey, this is Stephanie. And just minutes before, I'd like to make a comment, just minutes before the call today. And I was asking myself how I can do this better, was that I had a property on the contract. We was wholesaling the property and it was ready to go and everything. And the title came back because I asked the seller, I was like, okay, is it an estate? He's like, well, this is an estate, so we don't have to go through probate. But come to find out, he actually had a will and not an estate. So pretty much everything has to be put on hold. But then he doesn't have the money to, get an attorney. So now he has to do the probate himself. So I just
hold on though.
Okay.
What state is this?
Georgia.
So he doesn't have to himself. Is there equity in the property?
Yes, there's equity in the property, yes.
So one thing you can do is a service that will, first off, if it's a simple probate. Now, there's multiple family members, they're all fighting, you need an attorney. If there's not, if it's just one person who's kind of in charge
It's two.
and they get along,
Yeah, his niece, his uncle's the one that passed away. So his niece and himself, he says, yeah.
as long as it's simple, they're getting along.
Okay.
There's a service I use called Scrivener, SCRIVNR
Spell it
.com.
again.
Scrivener, SCRIVNR.com. It's kind of a play on the word Scrivener. I'll put it in the chat box.
Okay, thanks.
You see here, everyone in the meeting. And I actually did on my podcast, I actually did a interview with the founder. I use them all the time, where they're cheaper than an attorney, for one. Two, they'll advance the money for the customer for their expenses, as well as filing fees, publications. They'll lend them the whole thing. So the really customer doesn't have to come out of pocket with any money at all.
Oh, cool. 'Cause I have like another one like that too, just yesterday, another contract. But hers not, I don't think it's simple because we can't find the her daughter. But they said that I went down to Cobb County probate, and they were saying like, okay, we got to file a missing person report if they can't find her daughter.
When you say can't find her, meaning
Meaning that well, unfortunately, she's like on drugs and what have you. So the mom haven't seen her. She don't get along with the family. So, but she's an heir. The dad actually passed away 10 years ago, and now they want to sell the house, but they can't find the one heir, the daughter. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, you guys, I've been battling a cold for a while here, so I keep putting myself on mute to avoid coughing. I put in the chat box a vendor that I use for heirs research. And what they will do is look for her. They're like a private investigator company. And will find her, and they'll work on a contingency basis. So I'll charge a percentage of her fees. Okay. And there's an interview I did with him on a YouTube channel. Just kind of describes his offering. So it's a case where once you've opened the probate case, sometimes they don't have to do much to find her, and make a reasonable effort. Sometimes the court requires more, and the heirs research company can help if you need more.
Okay.
Again, they're contingency.
Okay. Well, thank you. Wow. That helps me out a lot with the both of them. And then I was thinking about this right here. I'm in the process of having a website created and just kind of create like a web type of thing, like just become a refer agent for people that's in probate. So like, or if they need probate, so it's like probate helpline or something like that. And I want to just have like go out like Keegan's doing and meet attorneys and different people to get on the website, but kind of help people just refer. And then if they have a property, what have you, then of course I have my information on there as well. And so, but an ideal like that, have you ever seen someone do that, or what do you think about that? Just become like just a referral for just with help people to actually, like if they need an estate, someone to clean out the property or trust and stuff like that.
So are you an agent or a wholesaler?
Well, I'm both the agent and the wholesaler, but I will offer them other service because most people need like a clean out service or someone estate planning and stuff. So it's just a site for probate people who need help for probate. But if they happen to have a property, then of course they'll say, okay, just fill out the form, and then we would get it as real estate agents, and then I'll have other vendors getting the referral.
That's exactly what I do. I don't use a website for it. I use my podcast and other ways.
Okay.
What company are you with?
Well, I own my brokerage firm, and then so
Yes.
I own two of them. One for the wholesaling part, and one for like I do the listing. So I'm Blue Key Realty, and I'm Coverall Realty Group.
And what part of Georgia are you in?
Atlanta.
Nice. Atlanta and LA are kind of neck and neck as far as the size of their probate, though.
Mhm.
Georgia, you have much smaller counties. So you have multiple counties. We have LA, which covers all of LA County, and you probably have about
Mhm.
in Atlanta about I think 6 or 8 counties that kind of have the same amount of business, but it's broken up. So a little
Right.
different approach.
Mhm.
I'd love to talk to you about more in detail if you want to get personal about what to do. But I would say
Okay.
to you, I think I'm doing what you're talking about, which is, I interviewed the Eris people, I interviewed the service, I work with trash out people, with move out people. I think that that's my goal is to have a national network of those people and have agents that can refer business to in different locations. I don't have anybody in Atlanta, so maybe if that's something we'll talk about, I'd be glad to. But even
Okay.
still, if you're not looking to do work with me or join me, we still can talk about working together on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that because,
But
like I said, and I'll have you take a look at my website too.
But for all of you, I think the goal is that people call you with a problem and you're the solution. So I've had people call me with, I need an attorney and I use the service if it's the right answer, or I need a probate litigation attorney. That's a different answer. Or I need errors. I showed you guys my text in the chat box. The errors research company. I need a probate bond. I'm interviewing one of those guys in a couple of weeks. So my goal is to be that resource in my world, and I'm challenging you guys to be that resource in your world as well. Stephanie, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was helpful, I think. In Atlanta. Who else has question, comment, victory? We get Stephanie be distracting. She's too pretty for the rest of us. We'll pay attention to her and not the call. Who else has question, comment, victory, loss? We still got some time here for a call. Anybody? It's your chance. It's free. Coaching. Anybody want to share a victory you had this week? No?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's up? I don't really have a victory. I guess I just need to speak up to get out of my own head. I signed up for the Probate Mastery and I got my leads in last week. I've yet to make any calls. I was super excited about the probate. I came from a wholesaling background and recently got my license, and it was really thinking, man, what is the best marketing method I could do? And doing so much research, I heard, if you're an empathetic person, probate, you can do well in probate. I was calling off the tired landlord before. But I guess since I got the information and I just became just procrastinating, the fear of failure and imposter syndrome feeling like I have no idea what I'm doing, no idea how to work probate. And I guess I'm just trying to be real and be honest with everybody because that's where I'm at. And I know I just need to jump in, make the calls and figure out what I don't know. But it's just that like a lot of overthinking, like, oh, am I doing the right marketing strategy? Should I be doing a different marketing strategy? Is probate right for me? Like, should I be doing this long term? So I just have a lot of overthinking right now, and just wanted to be open and honest where I'm at so I could get some help from the group. Sort of try to get my mind right, really. I've been into sales for a while, and I don't know why it's so intimidating to me to just talk to these homeowners, even though I've been in sales for so long.
Well, okay. So you have some coaching on this?
I'm in wholesaling, yes, and I'm in a part of a brokerage.
No, I'm saying, do I have permission to kind of coach you a little bit on this?
Yes.
Okay, and I see Me Too from Sarah, and I know a lot of you had the same issues. So a couple of things. First off, don't ever ask yourself why you don't do what you're supposed to do. The why is the booby prize. We want to do what you're supposed to do. So I think the when you spend your time on the why, you're going to get yourself discouraged. You're going to embarrass yourself, and get demotivated. Question is, why do you want to do it? Like, why do you want to build a business based on private real estate? And the more you focus on that, the more likely you are to at least take a step in the right direction, right? Any transformations changing from one form to another, caterpillar to a butterfly, transforming from zero probate business to a business. Any transformation starts with your mindset. And so for most of you, like, what do you when I coach agents, individually, and I don't do coaching professionally, I coach my own team, but I don't coach people as a coach. I coach people as a team builder. But I coach people, I do an inventory. I say, Zig Ziglar, my first mentor, said you can change who you are, you can change what you are by changing what goes into your mind. So let's do an inventory. What's going in your mind? What are you watching? What are you listening to? And what are you reading? And whatever it is isn't working, and we need to change it. And so if you do that inventory, what are you watching? And people say to me, why don't I watch much TV? Okay, well, that much is like, I don't drink much poison. I don't shoot myself in the head with a bullet all that often. Well, maybe not that all often is too much. And so I would say you need to take a look at the mindset and then ask yourself, well, why do you want to be successful in probate real estate? What's important to you about it? Maybe it's not. I could retire today. I could, have enough money from the assets I have that I don't have to work anymore. Now, I won't have as good a life if I give up the income I'm earning right now and the added assets I'm going to be adding to my life over the next couple of years. And I want to have a better life. I want to be with my grandkids. I'm going to take them on a fancy vacation. I look at pictures of them all the time. I have pictures of them on my desktop. You can't see that. I have pictures on my phone of my two grandsons. I think about all the time, who do I want to be? And to do that, I have to be successful. And to do that, I have to change what goes in my mind. So I'm very careful what I listen to, particularly before work starts. So I get up in the morning, I'm very careful what I listen to. I play on my phone on a speaker in my bedroom as I'm getting showered and dressed and shaved in the morning. I want to listen to something that's uplifting and motivating and going to get me on point. So I'd say it's a mindset issue. Let me just ask you, Grant, why do you want to be successful? Why is it important to you?
Because I grew up with my grandmother, who was a retired English teacher. She always struggled with her retirement money, and I want to be able to provide a better life for my family, not have to, work a 9 to 5 and not be able to provide for them.
So what I'd say to you is, maybe all that's true, and maybe it's because you're driving and you're distracted properly because you want to be safe. But anybody on the call here, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense was his passion when I asked him that? Put in the chat box, scale of 1 to 10. When he said that to you, how excited did you feel about his passion? And compare that, how did you feel when I shared about my grandkids? Yeah. So I say, Grant, again, because you're driving, but what's clear is you're not as in touch with that passion as you should be, or else you wouldn't not be doing what you're supposed to do. Right? And so you need to figure out a way you have a little bit of a fire burning in you. You need to find a way to stoke that fire, throw more wood on it, throw some gasoline on it, make that passion burn so that who cares why you're not making the calls, just make the freaking calls. Now, I do want to say, some people aren't cold callers. Or, in my case, I got to a stage in my career where I didn't want to cold call anymore. I'm 65 years old. I believe that I should have enough people chasing me that I don't need to call them anymore. I don't like arguing with people anymore. If you don't appreciate me as an expert, go find another realtor. I really don't care. I really don't care. But I've earned that privilege in my career. That said, I still have a passion for what I do, and I work real hard at what I do. I just don't do what I don't do. So maybe you need to do a little reflection. Do you really want to be a cold caller? Or is there some block there? Then you need to do something else. Maybe it's going out to lunch with attorneys. Maybe it's going to court like I did. Maybe it's door knocking. I don't know. But whatever it is, you got to find something you're willing to do every day at a level 9 or 10 consistently to achieve your goals. Does it help a bit? He's driving.
Yeah, mainly with what you said about focus on the why and not why you're not.
Yeah. And
Sort of
get that burning hot fire bigger and more real and accessible to you. So you can turn on like that.
Right.
Because here's the thing I want you to know, Greg, you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You're on a phone call right now with 34 agents around the country. Not to mention you're watching this on replay. Do you think your passion for your business will inspire somebody with a referral to call you? Or might they go, the guy's not that serious. Maybe I need to find somebody else to refer my probate real estate to. Right now, you had a chance to sell us all on how passionate you are. We all say, well, it doesn't, when I need to talk to customers, I'm motivated. No, the way you talk, when nobody's in front of you is the way you talk with people in front of you because it's a habit you've built. So you have to learn how to access that passion on a moment's notice. Okay?
Right. 100%. I appreciate it. And it's something I've been struggling with this past week, and I've noticed myself, and then subconsciously, like, why am I thinking this? Why am I so afraid of fail?
Well, I don't care why you're afraid. I want you to get out of being afraid and get in action.
Right.
So here's a homework assignment for free I'll give you. Commit to doing something different in the next week, either in the motivation front or actually making some phone calls, and come back to this call next week and report your progress. Are you up for that?
Sure.
Okay, looks like you froze up. There you go. I'll let you go. Drive safe. Come back next week, okay, Grant?
I will.
Thanks so much. Sarah's been patient with a hand up. Let's get you unmuted, Sarah. And I lost you.
No, I'm here.
Okay, I believe you, but I lost you. There. Wow. Okay, there you are, Sarah. What's going on?
Oh, no. Well, I'm getting in the getting started phase. And you were saying to him something about you could do this, maybe be successful without being a cold caller. And can you articulate more? I mean, yes, call your sphere, call attorneys, which is kind of cold calling, but doesn't really feel like it to me. And could you articulate more on that? Like, could you be successful without cold calling hardcore every day?
I don't know, what would you call successful?
Well, I would say at least 24 transactions a year. That would be my definition of my success.
What would gross income be on that?
Huh?
What would the gross income be for that?
Say it again.
What would the gross income be for 24 deals for you?
In
commissions?
About 250 to 300,000, depending on price points. Average price point in my area is about 500,000.
I've done way more than that the last 4 years, and I don't cold call.
Okay. So what you're saying is I've got a chance, because I don't love cold calling. I'll do it.
No. I've done it. It's real.
I was cold call trained, similar to you, background in that, and I don't love it. I don't want to do it forever.
So I think that there's a difference in cold calling and calling people you know already. How long you been in business?
12 years.
Yeah. So you shouldn't need to cold call anybody.
Yeah.
Or I should say, you should be able to call people you know every 90 days such that you'll never run out of them to get to strangers. So, but I do think you need to talk to people you know, like, and trust. You have to learn to enjoy the process of reaching out to help people. I wouldn't cold call people who, when you're new, you have to. When you're new and young, you have to do a lot of things in life. When I was newly married, we had a bed and a table and, we struggled and we got through it, right? You do what you have to do to get through what you have to in life. But at some point, you should be leveraging your experience, knowledge, and Rolodex to where you shouldn't have to cold call. And if not, you're not doing it right. And so I would say anybody in your list that you don't want to call, to take them off your list.
Yeah.
But call everybody you know first before you start cold calling. Now, what do you say? Well, you better have something of value to call people. And to me, that's the value of the Probate Mastery course is now you have what to talk about. You have a full perspective of what this is about. And you can help them either if they're in the muck or help them avoid the muck through estate planning.
And when I'm making those calls, would you recommend I have made some attorney connections first so I have attorneys to refer them to? I think you're
looking for an excuse not to call.
Yeah.
Well, I'll call as soon as I have the attorney list. Well, I have the attorney list as soon as I have the paper clips all lined up. Well, my paper clips are the wrong color. I need some blue ones and pink ones before I start calling the attorneys to call people.
I need the right color envelopes to mail my mailings.
There you go.
No, I was actually looking at my list last week. You said to look at it. And in my list, comparing it to the probate list was hilariously one of my past clients is.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah. Hello.
How about that? And they didn't call you, did they?
He doesn't call me. He doesn't know that I do this. I haven't worked with him for 5 years and I have not spoken to him for 5 years. That's where like you talk about the doing it wrong with your past clients, and I'm 100% guilty of it.
Two things I know are true in this business is, because I've experienced it, I've had customers call me who I haven't seen for 7 years, 10 years, who act as though we're still close friends. Like I met them socially 10 years ago, and maybe we went to church. I'm Jewish, synagogue a couple times, went to a social event there, maybe had lunch with them 7 years ago. And he'll call me about real estate because he gets my emails as though we're still close friends. Now we talked to the guy in 7 years.
That's cool.
And second, I'll call people who haven't talked to you in 5, 7 years, and now not all do, but way more remember me than my mind tells me will remember me.
I think there's a part of me that feels actually guilty for not keeping in better touch with people. And like, I have neglected you and I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Because it's almost a slap in the face, when you're snuggling with a buyer or a seller for weeks, getting them closed, and you're best friends and you're part of their family, and then you close and you don't speak to them for X amount of time. Like,
why?
Yeah, I know why.
Now, I will say, to this day, I don't make a lot of outbound calls. I have some people call me inbound. I don't have the time. But I do add everybody into my email database. I do try to connect with them on social media. And so literally I had experience where I'll talk to somebody, a prospect, on Monday. Well, actually, this one was on Friday or Thursday last week. I sent my email out every Monday, but because I added my list, I put everybody on my email list, he's emailing me. He loves my video, right? Nice. So I'm in contact with this guy now via email, which is great. So I do think the power of technology is we can talk to way more people per hour and keep in contact with them and reignite the relationship or maintain the relationship until they're ready to reach out. And I'm not saying it's a substitute for calling them. I would do both. I would, make sure I email out content every week to everybody. I would put on my social media content that's of value to people. And then I would, if I have extra time, start calling people. In my case, I don't cold call people to help them with real estate. I cold call them to go on my YouTube channel, people who could refer me business. In my case, I'm not looking for people who want to sell their property. I'm looking for people who can refer me people who regularly need to sell property. So I call attorneys and vendors, and I interview on my YouTube channel. So I'll cold call people for that because that's kind of fun.
You cold call them to get them to interview them on your YouTube channels?
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, I see you're an estate planning attorney in Tustin, and I work, throughout Southern California. I have a YouTube channel to help my customers learn the value of estate planning. I'd love to interview you on my YouTube channel. Would you be interested in doing a one-on-one video interview? And I'll call and I'll leave a message and I'll just copy paste an email, and they either do or don't. And Those who do, great. And those who don't, I don't like care. That's stupid to turn down free publicity. But today,
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
asked me, would I go on their podcast? Yeah, for sure. Will I talk to a couple hundred people? Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
attorneys will turn it down because they're too smart. Whatever. I don't really care. That just means I don't want to work with them. They just help me understand that I want to work with them.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is, yeah, reach out to my people, reach out to attorneys, but then put out some weekly content, maybe every other week or whatever,
Every week, minimum.
specifically related to probate, because there's other
No.
real estate.
Weekly
Right.
regarding real estate, probate, sprinkle it in.
Okay. Would you say like every other week for a little while until I've got a little bit of mind space there?
Everybody's a little different. I don't know how to answer that for you. Now, I started a podcast and I emailed to my whole database, hey, I have this podcast on probate. I have a podcast on how to avoid probate. And they start signing up for it. And so those people get probate content. The other people get real estate content.
Got it. Okay. You're very sophisticated.
It's not that sophisticated, really.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks so much. Okay. We got about 2 minutes for any last burning questions. Angelica, I love the course. Feel more confident cold calling. Great. Answering marketing. Great. Have that opportunity to assist anyone, but it's a start. So here's what you think about, Angelica. Real estate studies show that on standard real estate, the average time from lead to closing is over 2 years on average. Average. That doesn't mean everyone. That means on average. And so you have to understand that that's the game we're playing, right? And just to share with you real quick, that's called the bell curve. Bring it up real fast. That's the bell curve. So you can call people and 2% might do something right away. And this is not really related to sales, but in general, it's a bell curve. And the average is 2 years, which means there are people who you'll talk to today who aren't going to sell for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. You don't want to throw those away. You want to think of that as your long-term savings program.
Okay.
So you have to look at current business deep enough. I would suggest 6 months or 9 months or a year to last in the business long enough to enjoy the backside, because that's where the real profit and wealth is in the long run. And too often, real estate, we look for the short run and as my Ferry agent, we threw the rest away. Versus now, I keep everybody in my database forever. And that asset grows in value, both in terms of people who do business with me, as well as people who will watch my videos and support me by referring friends.
Yeah,
Okay?
thank you. I mean, the course has helped me dramatically. So I'm happy I did it.
So what are you doing now to generate business from that?
Well, I just enrolled in your program. I was trying to do it on my own, but I was struggling. So I just started the mastery course, and I've learned a lot listening to your conversations.
Great.
I feel more confident cold calling, and I just started marketing to attorneys, law firms.
Great.
Trying to, commingle, and offer. I mean, my brokerage does offer many services on a freebie basis, which I think it's great to assist these families.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've learned a lot.
Right. Well, good. Glad to hear it come back. Let's participate weekly. I think the key here is consistent activities over time, consistent procedures over time. So thanks for sharing. Continue success with it.
Thank you, Bill, so much.
Sure. Okay, I think it's a good time to wrap up because we're up on the hour now. So this is probatemastery.com, probatemastery.com. And this is a free weekly coaching call. You can register here on the page for Mastery, click on free weekly coaching call, put your name, email, and phone number in, register, and you'll get sent invites to join us live on the Zoom or replays on the YouTube. Also, we have a Facebook community. Click on here, and it's Estate Professional Mastermind. Continue the conversation, get the calendar, update on programs and such. Separately, I'm Bill Gross. I host probateweekly.com. Every Thursday's new time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern, sign up here, register, and you get audio formats or past episodes on YouTube. Separately, I have a Facebook page. Probate Weekly is my Facebook page, Facebook group as well. About 4,000 members there. I'd love to have you come in and ask questions and post your probate-related content. Lastly, you can find me at billgrossprobate.com. billgrossprobate.com. You get my link tree and I have all the ways to contact me and other programs that I run. So thanks. This is Probate Mastery. We do this every Tuesday, 11 o'clock a.m. I'm Matt Bill Gross Probate. Thanks for all those participated today. Keep up the good work. Come back next week and report your success. Until then, make today your best day ever. Thanks, everybody.